This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Greetings. I'm Sister Brenda Shipp, National Superintendent of Sunday School of the Original Churches of God. Highlights of Sunday School. We are starting a new quarter, December 2020, called in the New Testament. Unit 1, the beginning of a call. This unit has 4 sessions from the Gospel of Matthew. Lesson 1 highlights the heritage of Jesus. Lesson 2 tells the story of Jesus' birth. Lesson 3 speaks of the witness of the Magi to Jesus, called as the Messiah. Lesson 4 tells of the call of John the Baptist. Today's lesson, Lesson 1, December the 6th, 2020, Call Through Heritage. Printed text, Matthew, 1st chapter, 1 through 6, and 16 and 17th verse. Hebrew, 1st chapter, 1 through the 5th verse. Devotional reading, Psalms 102, 12 through 22. Today's lesson, Matthew opens with a family tree of Jesus' ancestors. Matthew included the genealogy for 3 reasons: to show that God's Son was also a real flesh and blood human, to show that Jesus was the long-awaited Messiah of Israel, David to Abraham, and also to show that Jesus is also the international Christ, the Savior of the whole world. His genealogy reaches beyond Jews to include several ethnic groups that populated the Middle East during Israel's Old Testament history. As we consider this in Matthew, the 1st chapter, 3 through 6, much had been made of the Virgin Mary, but Matthew's genealogy highlights 4 other women in Jesus' family. They were touched by scandal and remembered as sinners and foreigners. Their inclusion can be an encouragement to us. In verse 3, Tamar, Rahab. In verse 5, Ruth. In verse 5, and the wife of Uriah, Bathsheba. In verse 6, Jesus is the Messiah for women as well as men, even for women with supposedly checkered past and tainted bloodlines. He is the Messiah for all people, regardless of gender, race, or background. Genealogies were very important to the Jews, for with them they could not prove their tribal membership or their rights to inheritance. Anyone claiming to be the son of David had to be able to prove it. Matthew gave our Lord's family tree through his stepfather, Joseph, while Luke gave Mary's lineage. Jesus Christ is a part of history, that all of Jewish history prepared the way for his birth. God in his providence ruled and overruled to accomplish his great purpose in bringing his Son into the world. And the book of Hebrews was written to Jewish believers, but it encourages each of us to go back and re-examine, accept, and affirm our roots. Part of identifying ourselves with Christ involves a recognition of what God has made us to be from our backgrounds. By tracing the paths of history that He has used to prepare us for the gospel, we can discover delightful new insights into His wisdom, into His sovereignty and grace. Jesus indicated that those who follow Him will become like Him. What does it mean to be like Jesus in today's world? Matthew shows us ways of Christ's likeness, what it should look like. So to be like Jesus means to accept our roots. Jesus' family tree hides nothing. His heritage was multi-ethnic and included several unattractive or embarrassing individuals. Do you have some of those unattractive or embarrassing individuals in your family? The circumstances surrounding his own birth might have raised questions in the minds of some, but Jesus never denied his ancestry or allowed others to shame him. If we want to be like him, we need to understand and accept our roots in terms of culture, in terms of our race, our gender, and reputation. Like Jesus, we want to avoid demeaning anyone else's heritage. I remember this gospel song that I think it was sung by Albertina Walker, to be like Jesus. He's so meek and lowly, humble and holy. I want to walk like him. I want to talk like him. Oh, I want to be like him. Do you want to be like Jesus today? In our liberating lesson, believers today can marvel at the scope of God's plan, creating a people through Abraham, establishing a nation through David, and making all humanity a part of both through Jesus. Even if you do not know your heritage, you can claim this spiritual heritage. Application for activation. Jesus is the culmination of God's work of bringing salvation to the world through one sinful family line. Jesus is God's final and definitive word for humanity. He is our perfect example of living into the great faith heritage you inherit from your family. He is also our perfect example of rising above the family drama that can hold you back from fulfilling God's plan for your life. So this week, think of one family member who imitated Christ's example for you, and thank that person for helping you in your spiritual walk. Remember, this is the second Sunday of Advent. God be merciful to us and bless us and cause his face to shine on us. Until next week, be blessed.